name is Alec Kenneth Charles Potts, and I'm 22.
Perhaps we just better talk about your archery, because that's your big thing.
Yep. I started, so it probably traces back to the UK when I lived over there. So obviously living in England, there's a lot of medieval history in the curriculum. So we studied quite heavily all the battles and warfare and that kind of stuff. And I was really interested in bows, arrows, swords. So I originally started with fencing when I was probably 9 or 10. And then I guess from there I came back to Australia. Probably within a few months of being here, I went to AIM Archery Club in Cheltenham. We got a couple of lessons booked for me. And
how old were you then?
I was just turned 12 when I started, so March 2008.
Have you been at that archery club all this 10 years?
Yep, AIM Archery Club's where I started and where I still train now. And who coached me for about a year or two, and he was quite full on. So I had a few fairly negative experiences with the sport quite early on. He used to pit a lot of the athletes against each other, and he wouldn't tell you, like, the bows are very complicated, and he wouldn't tell you how to fix your gear, so he had that element of power. And he'd say to my parents, you know, Alec's driving us insane and he's stressing me out. And then it got to the stage where he said, enough's enough. We left him. I spent a year with some other really helpful people trying to learn more about the sport, jumping on YouTube, learning about stuff. I got a different coach. I started working with the high performance team and training for the Olympics and doing that kind of stuff. 2014, so I went to a high performance camp in Brisbane, and I sat down with our head coach and our head sports psych. So they asked me, you know, typical goal setting, where do you want to go? And I said, this is 2 years out from Rio, I want to go to the Rio Olympics. And our sports psych was kind of, all right, okay. And our national coach just kind of laughed straight at me. And I kind of thought, well, there's a challenge been issued. So I went back to the hotel and dropped out of uni that day and went full time for the next 2 years training in archery.
I like that you had to go and prove them wrong.
Yeah, so that was kind of my drive.
Very good.
And then a week after that all happened, I came home and found that original club my coach was at had actually issued a letter banning me from the grounds. Police will be called if I enter the car park. That was the level they'd banned me. No reason, no nothing. They still haven't given me a reason. So those are my two kind of driving forces, thinking, you've said I can't do it, you're actively trying to block me. I have a really supportive family, and they kind of spoke through it, and we spoke about it, and they kind of went, well, he's down here and you want to be up here, and let's exactly rise above it and look at the end goal. I won this in day 1 of the Olympics. So day 0, before the opening ceremony, we shoot our ranking round. And then day 1, technically, we shoot our team rounds. And yeah, so this was the first medal.
Where were these Olympics held? Did
in
you
Rio.
say Rio?
Yeah, so this medal is the first medal handed to an Australian in the Rio Games.
Is that a bronze?
There's a bronze, yeah. I was full-time for a year and a half, but I'd shot, 6 years or so before that of not full-time, but training pretty hard. Came back from the Olympics, picked up my bow again, shot a tournament, and I broke a national record just after I got back. And then I kind of phased out of archery a little bit, so I was still competing, but I wasn't training as much per se, because I run an archery shop as well.
What's your online shop called?
Eliza Archery is my business.
Eliza Archery. And where do you keep the gear? In the garage?
All over the place.
Oh my goodness. And where do you buy it from?
All over, America, Europe, some stuff within Australia, but most of it's imported.
And you also advise them, or people know what they need to buy?
Oh, we get emails all the time and phone calls from people asking questions and Facebook messages, and I'm happy to help. A lot of times, if people aren't sure on what equipment to get, we'll book in a coaching session and they'll come down to AIM Archery for half an hour or so, and I'll say, all right, well, I think because of the way you shoot, this will help, and that kind of stuff.
How's it going in your business?
Good. I'm looking at moving into my own indoor range and shop in Seaford in the next 2 or 3 months.
When did you start your coaching at the AIM?
I was coaching at AIM Archery just before the Olympics, just doing a little bit, and then that's kind of grown over the last year and a half or so. It's a very small sport, but there's a lot of people that kind of come through. It's just difficult because when people join, they do their lessons, they buy their gear, that kind of stuff, and it's difficult to find a pathway after that. So what I'm trying to do is put in place kind of junior squads that can train and travel to tournaments and stuff, and be able to give them a clear set pathway of where to follow afterwards.
A future.
Yeah, a future. This is a recurve bow, so this is the only type of bow you can use in the Olympic Games. They're quite heavy, so we put a lot of weight onto the bows to help stabilise them, and the average weight for a male archer is around 50 pounds of draw weight to pull the bow back each time, so they're quite heavy things.
My name is Sophie and I'm 13 years old.
Your piano, when did you start playing piano?
I started learning it in 2014 after my parents realised that I had a musical ear, which means that I can listen to something and I pick it up really easily. I'm starting back this year. I stopped halfway through 2016.
Why was that? Was it too much work or too
I was
stressful?
finding it boring because I was learning more theory and scales instead of using like
Actual
my
songs?
ability. Yeah. I can play Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey. I'm just learning From Now On from The Greatest Showman. My favourite artist is Shawn Mendes.
Okay, yeah, he's good.
Yeah, I went to see his concert last year. His songs on like Spotify or whatever you listen to them on, they don't sound as good as what he sounds like at
In
a
real
concert.
person.
Yeah.
Okay, when did you start the dancing?
I started dancing in 2015, started contemporary.
And have you been in any competitions and things?
So in my old competition team at my old studio, we had 2 competition teams, but we were the same age level group thing and were competing against each other, and they came first and we came second. These were my first ever dancing shoes. I've worn them to contemporary since I got them. So yeah, they mean a lot.
Are these just a memory now, like you don't use them anymore?
I use them for acro and then I wear them underneath my dance boots. They look like Ugg boots,
Yeah.
but you wear your dancing shoes underneath them. This goes around your Achilles area and that folds over
The heel?
like that to get into your foot.
Your future, where do you see your future?
I love makeup, and a few years ago I started modelling. Just recently got into one of my favourite modelling agencies, and I'd love to be doing makeup and being a model. A few years ago I was casted for the Milo ad for the Champions badge or band. But yeah, that's been on TV. That was fun.
So peer pressure, is that at school?
Yeah. I've had to do like things at school that people have pressured me into that got me in trouble. But that was all dealt with.
What did they want you to do?
Bully a person. I was with him and then he started being really rude to everyone. He
terrible.
was really rude to everyone. They're like, you're the only person who can stop it. Or stop it. Didn't really stop.
So you would just get, because otherwise they were going to give you a hard time, is that right?
Yeah,
What happened in the end? Did you do it?
sort of. A lot of people just did it through me. As in, a lot of people on my social media accounts would like cyberbully him. Yeah.
So did you realise afterwards that you hadn't done the right thing?
Yeah, now we're friends.
Did
Hard.
the teachers know or anything?
Yeah, teachers got involved.
But you're all good now, everyone's happy.
Yeah, a lot of people are rude to him, he's rude to a lot of people, but like it's normal. It's not like hard fights where you would bash them or... I did it, like I'm not going to say I didn't do it because I wanted to do
What
it.
I'm trying to get is you didn't do it with the intent to like hurt him.
No,
You just thought this was the only way to solve the problem.
yeah.